fucking dumb. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the 20th episode of our podcast, Don't Stop Beleafing, where we talk all about the Leafs all the time to anyone who will listen. I'm your boy, Nolan Drinkwalter, and this is my co-host, king of golf lessons, king of hockey tournaments, king of Team Canada, Jack Prince. Jack, how you doing, brother?
What? Boo, 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 boo.
That's a terrible entrance.
In the house. What?
That's a terrible entrance, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
What's going on, dude?
Not too much. We are busy people that we have to go do things.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of backgrounds, we were talking about backgrounds before, but I like the skyline of Toronto behind you.
Isn't that cool? We can maybe see a plane go by.
Yeah. Well, I remember seeing the one time there's a satellite going by.
Yeah. So it was a Starlink satellite. No, it was a plane.
No.
Going to land upside down at Toronto Pearson.
Oof. But everyone was okay, so it's fine to joke about, right?
But it's getting lighter out, so now you can actually see behind me.
I know. In the morning when I'm driving to work, it's still sunny. Or not still sunny. It's brighter earlier, so when I'm going to my car to warm it up in the morning, I can see everything. Nobody's sneaking up on me.
Yet.
No, not yet. But yeah, so it's been 2 weeks since we've done our podcast, man.
Yeah. It was
Any news?
Crazy
Valentine's
that we're at 2-0, eh?
Who is?
20. Episode 20.
Yeah, 2-0, I know.
Good for us.
We're flying through, man.
Better than most podcasts that have already failed by now.
And we don't fail. We fail up.
Yeah, you can try to get us off the air, but we're going to keep going.
Oh, you can try.
You can try. But yeah, we had the break. We had the long weekend, which was Valentine's Day. I went to bed at 7:30 p.m. Valentine's Day and woke up at 4:30 on the couch, and then woke back up, got ready for bed, and fell asleep from 5:30 a.m. to 12:30.
And that was with a date, right?
No. So I slept right through it, but yeah, I'm sure you did something nice.
Took to a charcuterie shop and sat down and bought expensive meats and cheeses and wine.
Took her out for some cheese.
And then we went to a board game place and played for 4 hours.
Nice.
That was kind of more for me. I love board games. I friggin' love it, man.
Yeah, and see, I'm the opposite. I do not like board games.
Like, you wouldn't play a board game?
Not really. No, I'd rather not. There's other ways I'd rather spend my time.
Like, name two.
Golf and hockey.
Okay, I understand, but you're in your house and need things to do around the house with someone.
Yeah, I'd rather watch a TV show or movie.
Movie's lame too.
Well, it's just a lot of brain power to figure out strategy, and I'm quite competitive, so I end up wanting to win, and it's not a good look on me, because sometimes, like, let's be honest, you have to cheat to win Clue.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, I think you're just dumb.
No, I win Clue, and I make sure I win Clue. No, like, by deductive reasoning. It's just being
Sherlock.
Smart.
That's literally the point of the game is deductive reasoning.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes there's little tricks that you can do by saying certain cards. Yeah, I'm not going to give away all my secrets, but I'll always win.
Is this what you got from Simpsons Clue? Is this all from Simpsons Clue?
Simpsons Clue, yeah. And then we had Monopoly, NHL Monopoly.
NHL Monopoly was fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of Monopolies.
Are you sick of board games because you played them a lot when you were younger?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't mind the ones that I like, actually, like Connect 4. I'm good at that.
Oh, that's an easy one. That's a good drinking game. Let's be real.
I don't lose at Connect 4.
Okay, so I guess we're going to have a couple matches here between me and Jack on Connect 4.
Checkers are also very good.
What was the other one?
Checkers.
I'll have to play at Checkers too. Looks like we have a tourney going on.
Yeah, I got a lot, but I don't know. I'd just rather not play them because I don't know.
I'm telling you, we're going to play them for money.
But there's a lot of pride on the line too.
Yeah. Excited? We're going to figure out a day and we're going to play this stuff. And I'm not kidding.
But I will say I was home in Toronto and all my golf lessons and everything got canceled that weekend because of the snowstorm.
Right. Big snowstorm.
And very lonely.
And on Valentine's Day. Oh, man.
No, Valentine's Day I wasn't lonely yet because, again, I just slept. But by Monday, rolling around, and I didn't leave my apartment from Friday night to Monday.
You've been a little stir crazy.
I was going a little stir crazy. I'm like, you know what? Because usually I'm really busy, so I don't really notice. But I was like, maybe I got to do something.
You're so busy, man, all the time.
Yeah, welcome to my life, dude.
Speaking of looks, did you shave your dome? It looks good, man.
Yeah, I just figured the podcast coming back, I got to look presentable. I hadn't shaved and done anything to my appearance in a long time because I had really had to.
But you left the mustache.
Yes. Wait, what? Why
it's great. It's great, man. It's great. I like it. It looks great.
You know what? I got a lot of compliments at volleyball from older women.
How old are these women? Like, did they know Tom Selleck when he was younger? They watched Tom Selleck?
They're probably in their 40s or 50s.
Oh, yeah. They definitely watched Magnum P.I.
Anyway, they're like, Jack, like the look. I'm like, thanks. You're one of the minorities that like it.
And? That was it?
Then they laughed.
Sounds great, man. Sounds great. Let's go on to the big story of the week. We're going to hockey now. Hockey's way more important than this shit. Big story of the week. Team Canada wins the Four Nations Cup. Beat USA in the final. Great friggin' hockey game. Goes to overtime, 3-2. Our boy, our little baby boy, Mitch Marner.
They're growing up.
Game-winning assist on McDavid's goal. Mm-hmm. What are they calling it? The McGolden goal.
McGolden goal.
And he has a hell of a tournament, I thought, and a hell of a game in against USA, getting 2 primary assists, as everybody likes to say. They're primary. They're not secondary. And I think he was probably the top 3 players on that team that night against USA, Marner.
Yes.
Skaters. Because I guess you got to give Binnington his flowers a bit.
I would put him 4th or 5th.
Like overall?
Yeah,
including Binnington?
You got McCarr, you got McKinnon.
Fair.
You got McDavid, who scored the goal.
Yeah, but the rest of his game
wasn't...
The rest of his game wasn't big, wasn't great.
Who's?
McDavid. He got shut down all night.
Yeah, but he came out when it mattered most.
Yeah, but does that make him one of the best players in the game?
What do you remember about Crosby the whole tournament in 2010?
Apparently, everybody said he's actually played really bad in that tournament.
Yeah, but it's all a race because he scored the golden goal.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's the only I remember.
Exactly.
But I guess people were saying that he should be kicked off the team. He wasn't playing well. What's he doing on this team? Then he scores the golden goal. And everybody's like, he's probably the best tournament of his life.
Yeah.
But yeah,
people, I don't know what they expect.
I know. So Marner, honestly, I think he was one of the better players on that team. And he was up and down the lineup. He was playing with McDavid. He was playing with Cirelli and Hagel. He played with, I think that might have been the only group. He passed to Bennett, so that must have been a line change. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
But man, he looked good. He passed amazingly. He scored that OT winner against Sweden. I think he had a great tournament, and it shows that he can actually maybe step up in the big moments.
Yeah, I think his confidence just being there and finding that time and space that he's so good at increased over the tournament. It was very apparent in the Finland game that he was starting to get more comfortable with the puck on his stick and taking that extra couple seconds to, turn towards the boards, hold it, instead of just firing it off his stick. And then once he started doing that, he became very effective. And we all know what happens in the final game. He was on the third line playing with those guys, and then eventually he was just playing so well that they moved him back up with McDavid, which I think he would have figured out. I think it was Reinhardt on that line that wasn't really helping them, and so it was hard for McDavid to get anything going. But then as soon as they got the line with Point, Marner, and McDavid going, that line was buzzed.
Yeah, but you don't think that's the line that would work. Like when you see McDavid, playmaker, right? So who would you want with him? An eternal shooter. Reinhardt.
Yeah.
You think that'd be perfect? And who do you want on the other side? Someone like Hyman, go to the net, crash the corners. Stone. Yeah. So you think that would be the perfect line?
Yeah.
Which is wild it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why on paper you never really know until you see the product.
Yeah, true.
Well, that's what makes me nervous about trades, at trade deadline, because you never
it looks
really
good
know
on paper, but
yeah.
You never know.
Like Dubas, I always thought gave us a great chance of winning on paper. At the trade deadline, just never really went.
I think the best one that's worked is probably Luke Shen over the last 5 years. I think he's my favorite. And I don't know, maybe O'Reilly wasn't bad. He got injured. Like, all these players get injured as soon as they come over.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Toronto luck.
Yeah. And then we go over the USA side. Matthews, also 2 primary assists in the game. There's only 2 goals by the States. He gets the big assists on both of them. He was a bastard to play against. Like, his defense is amazing.
It's unbelievable. Like, against the best in the world, it's very easy for him.
And like I said, he shut down McDavid all night. Was he the one against him?
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if he's hurt or not. So he had 3 points the whole tournament, 3 assists, no goals.
I think he's hurt.
You do think he's hurt?
I think it's an upper body injury, and that's why he can't shoot the puck. Because he's not shooting the puck with that zip that we're used to seeing, and then he's shying away from certain shots that he used to. I think he takes clappers, and that's it. I haven't seen him take too many wrist shots. And if he does take a wrist shot, it's definitely weaker than his other wrist shot that he used to have.
So are you thinking it's his wrist?
I'm thinking it's wrist, shoulder, back. Could be anything. Because, like, even back, like, you're not going to...
But you can take a slap shot?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know.
Because, like, that play where where Bennington stowed him in the OT, I think he usually puts that home. He goes upstairs, puts that home.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a wrist, because then that's like that movement.
Yeah.
You're trying to get going.
So you heard it here first. Austin Matthews injured with a wrist injury.
Or shoulder.
We know it. And so Nylander, so out of the 3, Marner, Matthews, Nylander, I think Marner needed this the most.
Definitely.
Yeah.
To show that he can play in big games, and hopefully... Nylander, I don't think he's had a problem in playoffs.
He's cool as a cucumber,
showing up.
Man.
The guy loves big games.
Yeah.
And he loves game, and that's why he's the one that told him to shut the F up or whatever on
Just
that Amazon show. Yeah. But the Matthews and Marner, Matthews been decent, but Marner definitely has been the one that's been disappearing in big games. So huge for his confidence, huge for all the boys to be playing at that level. And you got to think, when you go back to the NHL, the game is probably a little bit slower than what you're used to at that tournament. So, and to be able to perform with the best in the world at that tournament, definitely a confidence boost for sure, knowing that, you're the elite of the elite.
Oh, yeah.
And that your team on the elite of elite relied on you guys to get it done. So
in the big moments, you're out there in OT.
Moments, yeah.
And so Marner, 3 points in 4 games in the tournament. Matthews, 3 points in 4 games, and Nylander, 2 points in 3 games. Yeah. So they played well. I think Nylander played well in his games. His defense lacked a couple times. I saw
pretty obvious in that.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't. I don't know how he felt about the tournament with intention and stuff like that, but maybe he just didn't care as much. Who knows? Or was everybody, you think, going full bore with wearing the flag on the jersey?
I don't know. He was the one that was yelling at all his teammates. They're all circling around him before the face-off. So really? I thought that was pretty cool. In the Canada game, yeah.
I saw a clip of Marner, like, I wouldn't say yelling at McDavid, but like telling him what to do from the bench. So I'm like, oh my God, these boys got it. These boys have the dog in them, man. Maybe they do have the dog.
Yeah.
So I already know Matthews has the dog. So I think they played pretty good. It's weird Matthews not getting any goals in the tournament. And like he had a big drought before that in the season.
Yeah, again, it's all his upper body injuries. Yeah. He can't shoot the puck, so you're not going to score goals when you can't shoot.
Yeah, and the only goal he has is that open netter, which was actually a pretty good open netter, let's be real. He bullies off one guy and then backhands it in.
Yeah.
So we'll go to the Leafs now, because we talk too much about Team Canada. That's not our team. Kind of is our team.
Kind of.
The Leafs are our team. But you said it was like life and death for you watching these games.
Oh, I was going through the motions. I don't know why it affected me that much, but I cared deeply. My palms were sweating. My armpits were sweating. I was shaking. I was like way too into it. Meant too much for me. Couldn't do that to myself over and over. My heart was like going way too fast. Didn't fall asleep till 2:30 at night.
Holy.
After I was
I was up for a bit too.
Every game that they played, especially the last one, I was doing workouts between like ads and intermissions just to try to like get some stress off.
Holy shit, man. So did you like Sam Bennett during the game?
Dude, again, this is my problem when I watch these games is when they mean too much to me. I love all the players on our team. Even Sam Bennett. Loved everyone. Loved Marchand. Love all of them. They could murder somebody on the ice and I'd be like, warranted. Like, don't care. Slash his face with your stick. I'd be like, he deserved it.
That's my guy.
And that's psycho. I shouldn't feel that way, but I just hate the other team so much.
And how mad would you have been if Matthews scored that goal in OT?
I'd have been pissed.
Would you carry on to watching the Leafs?
Yeah, no, I'd be, like, that's the thing. Once the game's over, I disassociate.
Oh, yeah?
But when I'm in those environments, it's not healthy for me.
No, it's not, man.
And, like, I think I lost years off my life just from that one game. Thank God it's just one game.
Wait till the Leafs go to playoffs, man.
But I do
they make
this
it to, like,
in the
the
playoffs.
second or third round. But what if they go
That's what
farther?
I mean.
I'm talking about they go farther.
I do this in the playoffs with the Leafs, and, yeah, it's tough. It's hard on me. It's hard on my body. It's hard on my mind. It's hard on everything. My routines. The good thing is, yeah, they do get put out early. The one year they went to the second round.
That's the only
I don't know what I'd do if they made it to the Stanley Cup final. I'd probably have to like put myself in a coma or something like that, or just not watch the games.
Knock yourself out. We'll have to do a couple watch parties this year. We'll have to watch a couple games together this year.
Yeah, that might tame me down a little bit. I'm hoping. Because by myself, it's just too much.
So, Leafs went 2-0, being back now. Back-to-back games. Stolarz had a game, looking great. Woll had a game, looks great. No bad goals between them, I don't think. One bad goal? What are you doing?
Putting up ones, Nolan. We're in first place.
That's coming up, man.
First place. In the division. Place.
First place in the division.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think no bad goals between the two goalies. Stolarz looked good, Woll looked good.
Yeah, I don't think there wasn't one.
No.
I looked at them. There wasn't one.
And they beat Carolina 6-3. They started off 4-0 after the first. It's a season high in the first period. They haven't done that this year yet. Then they almost blow the fucking lead.
How bullshit were those goals though? Like the puck double deflected onto the guy's like back door, the guy had a wide open net, and the guy's like, just shoot.
What do I do with this?
Like, how?
Even the second one wasn't that second one off someone too?
Yeah, it was another deflection off somebody else, and it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, that's not. It felt like something was working against them.
Like, I remember I was watching the first two periods, and it was 4-0 going into the third. Me and my girlfriend started playing a board game, and we were looking down at the board game. I look back up, it's like 4-3. I'm like, what the heck happened?
Yeah. And the announcers jinxed it. They're like, this is just like the Canada game, and there's some Finns on this team. And then all of a sudden, they just started coming back just like the Canada game. I'm like, where's Sidney Crosby? We need Sidney Crosby.
To get the open net. No, we have Holmberg. Don't worry.
Yeah. But
he scores all the goals now.
Didn't Matthews get the first one?
Oh, sorry. I think the Chicago game, too. Holmberg got an open netter in that, too.
Yeah. So, in that game, I had Matthews and Nylander to score a goal. Yeah. And I would have won like $40 on like a $2 bet. And
then he passed off.
Yeah, and then Matthews gets the open net. I'm like, this is unreal. And then I see Nylander go out. I'm like, oh my God, please. And then he does the play at the blue line. I'm like, my gosh. He's going down. And Nylander always shoots those. And now the one time he decides to sauce it over to Holmberg, I think he really wants to keep his fellow Swede on that line because he's been dishing to him.
He did the same thing in the other game for the open netter. Like, passed to him, and it bounced off his skate and went in.
I know. And so I'm like, what is going on here? Anyway, so I'm happy that Nylander's playing so unselfishly. Like, he's fighting for like the scoring lead with Draisaitl, and he's just passing these off unselfishly. It shows how much he's about the team.
I think
But
Draisaitl's far and away from it, isn't he? He's at like 41,
yeah,
42
it's
now.
like a 10 goal gap.
Yeah. He's going to be, I think he's going to be close to 60.
I think he
Draisaitl.
will. Yeah, he will.
He's on fire, man. Holy.
Yeah, 25 games left.
So yeah, so then 2 empty netters at the end of the game. Carolina and Toronto always have the weirdest fucking games, man.
They're so unstable.
Yeah. Like
It's
even
never
last time, I think
calm.
they were down. Like the last game they played Carolina earlier in the season, I think it was a weird one too. It was like Leafs were down, they almost came back as well.
Yeah.
They have some
And then
weird
you had
games.
that one where Leafs played and they scored like 3 or 4 goals in like 3 minutes. I forget when that was. That was a couple of years ago.
Against Carolina?
Yeah, it was. They scored like 3 goals in 3 minutes or whatever the Leafs did.
And then also the Ayers game, if you want to bring that up, where they had the backup goalie win against the Leafs.
That's embarrassing.
Very embarrassing, man. And then again, they played Chicago after that. Beat them 5-2. I think they dominated most of that game. Looked
Chicago.
like a better team, other than which they should. But it's on the end of a back-to-back. 3 stars are coming back from that Four Nations tournament. They're playing it back-to-back. When a lot of people thought they'd be sitting a game at least.
Yeah.
And then a little bit in the second, I thought they let off the gas. And then that's where Woll came up and looked good. Made some big saves, I thought. So yeah. And then I think it was one of the more complete games by the Leafs this year.
Yeah.
I mean, especially on a back-to-back, especially against a lower team where they usually suck. And they got trapped.
Another classic situation where the third line's playing a weaker team and just dominates.
Mm-hmm. They look good, though. Like, they look good.
They look so good. But again, we were saying this, against weaker teams, that line's unreal. Against harder teams, they get hemmed in, their defensive play gets exposed.
Yeah, and I didn't see them get hemmed in much against the Chicago because I guess you're right, like playing a weaker team.
Yeah. So it works against weaker teams. So we got to line up for the weaker teams. It's just a matter of that. But
that's what Berube did.
Yeah.
He knew it. He knew. He was like, oh, Holmberg, go to the second line.
I love our goalies right now.
They're so good, man. When
either one of them is in net, you feel a certain confidence that we are not. They have to beat our team and the goalie. It's in people's heads, it seems.
To be fair, I was a little antsy in the Carolina game when it was 4-3.
Well, it just seemed like everything was working against us. But at the same time, I was like, Stolarz is in net, and they haven't beat him clean yet.
No.
So unless they keep getting lucky, which how many times can you keep getting lucky?
At least 3.
Yeah.
We saw 3.
But again, we got Matthews there, and he became Crosby and put it in the empty net to let us all have a sigh of relief.
Mm-hmm. And then Holmberg with the second goal scorer, Holmberg with the next one.
Yeah, the funny thing is, there was one of the comments online because we saw Holmberg was on the line too, and I texted you saying one of the comments is Holmberg is where offenses go to die. And then the guy's got 3 goals in 2 games.
No, he made you eat that. That guy, he made that guy eat that.
Yeah, good for him. But 2 empty netters. But at the same time, Nylander's making sure that he stays on his line because fellow sweet.
Actually, that's perfect that you're saying that because last 2 games, a lot of depth scoring on this team. So the Chicago game, all 5 goals were from people outside the core 4. And in the last 2 games, 9 goals out of the 11 are outside the core 4.
Yeah.
So let me run you through a list of guys who scored. Holmberg, 3 goals. Robertson, 2. Kampf, 1. Steves, 1. McCabe and Tanev, 2 defensive goals.
Yeah.
How awesome is that? And I do want to go through some of these goals as well.
Yeah, 100%, because some of them are sweet. The depth we're getting right now is great because those guys just came back from Four Nations. They're tired. JT's been buzzing around, which is good.
Oh, I got a quote from him later.
He's flying around. So it's good to see the depth because they were saying, the core 4, when's the depth scoring going to come? Well, it's coming in bunches right now, which is nice at the perfect time because the core 4 guys are tired from, playing a lot. So it was good timing, and to see some defense scoring too, it's cool.
Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about the Holmberg goals first because 2 of the goals that he scored, he didn't shoot. One was banked off by Nylander, And the other one was put in their own net by Jordan Stahl.
Yeah.
I just think that is so fun. And the third one is another empty netter.
Yeah.
So, and everybody's calling this goal scoring dynamo now. And he's like, all 3 goals are they goals?
Hey,
I guess someone has to get them.
It's like the whole Zach Hyman thing. He just stood there at the far side. McDavid just kept feeding him.
And bouncing off him and in the net.
Nylander's like, stand there. I will bounce it off of you.
I will get you 20 goals this year.
I will keep you on my line.
He just needs that defense on his line. But yeah, so who do you think that placeholder's for? Like where Nylander is? Is that for Patches? Like the second line, obviously.
Is Patches injured right now?
I think so. He's not been healthy scratched. I really should have looked into that. I think he's injured.
I want to look into it too because it was like, where's Patches right now?
So I wonder. I think he might be injured again.
Yeah,
and we knew that was not coming into the season. He's going to be injured a lot.
Well, like we were saying, why aren't they putting Steves with that line? Because Steves has been scoring in the AHL. And then that at least gives him more scoring opportunities and more ice time to get involved in the game. Instead, they had Holmberg there, and then Holmberg ends up with 3 goals. So
yeah, that could have been Steves.
Steve's doing great on his own.
Yeah, I know. And Robertson 2 goals against Chicago. He hasn't scored in 10 games. Yeah, he gets back-to-back goals. Domi with 2 beautiful passes. The second one, I don't understand. Why didn't the goalie come out on
poke check?
Yeah.
It looked like he just reacted late because he did look like he tried to poke check it, but he missed it.
Just wasn't expecting it, I wonder.
I would have been expecting it. Like, just go out and poke that. Like, at the end of the period, nothing's going to happen. Instead, he kind of hesitated as he watched it, and then he decided to go out late, and it just went by him and missed his stick, and that's why he had the far side open.
To be fair, Soderblom is one of the worst goalies in the league right now. I don't want to be I'm not trying to diss anyone, but he's actually like statistically at the bottom.
Yeah.
But he also is on Chicago. Kind of hard to be a good goalie.
Yeah, it's hard to you don't really know when the shots are coming and where they're coming from because of the defensive structure.
He's so shell-shocked.
So.
And then Brody, ex-Leaf, Brody stops one on the line. Did you see that?
I did.
And then he was the one that put it. No, he wasn't.
No. Wasn't
one deflected off him, didn't it? And go in.
Was it Stahl that got it off the line?
We're talking about 2 completely different teams. No, Chicago. It was against Chicago. Brody got it off the line.
Okay, I might not have saw that
2
one.
Games. Yeah, and then I remember later because there's McCabe goal, the Tanev goal in Chicago, bounced off Brody and went in.
Yeah, I saw that off the goalie's pad, off Brody and in.
So we had the luck that night, I guess. Camp's goal, I want to talk about that because it was a beautiful goal set up on that 4th line. Steves with an assist, passes to Lorentz.
Great play.
And then Lorentz, again, these flashes from Lorentz are insane.
Flash from Steve, flash from Lorentz, and then Camp has an empty net. It was crazy.
And then Steve's goal. This is going to be my goal of the week. Steve's first goal of his career. In his I want to say 10th game. I think it was like his 10th, 11th game. He comes in on the forecheck, does an amazing job in the forecheck, hits the guy, gets the puck loose. It comes around to, I want to say Holmberg was on that line at that point.
Nylander passed it to him.
No, it was JT.
Oh, JT passed it? Yeah, it was one of those guys.
So, and Holmberg was for some reason. Oh, yeah, because I guess that line would be coming out. So Holmberg was in there with him.
Steves was getting off the ice.
Yeah, he was about to lead it off the ice.
Yeah.
Holmberg gets to the JT, and then he sees that. Steves turns around, opens up. JT has a beautiful pass across.
Yeah.
And this 1T's top shelf.
Yeah.
Beautiful
scoring touch.
Not just a scoring touch. He was the first one in on that play. He got that puck loose, and then he had the smarts to turn around and stay in the zone to get that shot off.
He looked great out there. It was undeniable. He definitely helped the team. My goal of the week is the one by Camp where Steves goes and draws 2 guys over to him, puts the puck to the slot where Lorentz is flying through. Then Lorentz draws the last defenseman over to him, and then he just puts it back to Camp, who's in the slot. So that's, again, a play started by Steves.
Oh, yeah. So do you think this helps keep Steves in the lineup?
How could you not keep him in the lineup?
And do you move him up? Like,
I would give him a chance, an opportunity, because if our second line's sitting there, the thing is, Holmberg has all these points and goals, so it's hard to be like, oh, that line's not working.
Yeah, but he's just like a friggin' board for the other two, just bouncing off him and in.
Yeah, I know, but
like there's stats. Like stats only tell so much of the story. There's also you have the eye test, and to me, I hate that I do this because I do think Holmberg has a spot on this team. I just don't think it's on the second line.
No. Well, Nylander threw a puck right through the slot, and he totally missed the 1-T.
Oh, I saw
the announcers were like, "Oh, that pass was going a little hard." I'm like, I don't think. I think he also could have stopped it. He had enough room because Nylander literally passed it, drew a bunch of guys over to him, and he could have stopped it and still had a shot,
took a slap shot,
and still had all the time in the world to take a shot from the slot. So if you get a guy like Steve's there receiving that, who knows what we could have,
or McMahon,
but they like McMahon with that line with Robertson and Domi because they've been buzzing around.
Yeah,
so.
And McMahon's the engine of that line.
Yeah, the guy set up everything.
Yeah.
He was the one in the one play, went and beat two guys to the puck, chipped it out to Domi, and Domi just passed it over to Robertson.
Yeah. But that whole line did their job, that goal.
On that goal, yeah. So they work well together, and McMahon's a huge part of that line, so it's tough. We'll see if they can figure it out maybe after the break. Maybe they will play well against a good team.
Well,
I don't know.
Tomorrow's a big one because they play Boston. Or Tuesday they play Boston, so that'll be a good measuring stick game. Yeah.
Because Boston's so well structured, they always have been. So,
and usually their bottom six is decent.
Yeah.
I think so anyways.
Yeah, they don't have that top end talent like they used to, but they're just well balanced.
Not this year. They're out of the playoffs right now. And I just saw that they're fire sailing now too. They called it quits on the season.
They did?
Yeah.
Who reported that?
I don't know. Sarah Belly? Who knows? I just saw it online. They said they're waving the white flag for the season this year, and they will be looking at trade offers.
Well, they're not like totally out of the playoffs.
They're behind like 3 teams though.
I know, but it's also tight around there, around that.
I know, but that's the problem. And even if they made the playoffs, I doubt they're trading to get anyone. They don't have anything. They don't have any prospects or picks really, other than goalies.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They need to go through a little dark period. They've been at the top for a long time with Bergeron there, so
that would make me a little happy if they did.
Yeah, exactly. See them struggle a little bit.
And so the last 2 goals I want to talk about was McCabe and Tanev scoring in Chicago. What?
Our D.
Because I'm giving them the flowers here. Not only are they the shutdown pair of our team, playing majority of the minutes, they decided to become the dynamic duo of scoring from the point.
Why not?
I know, right? So they're doing it all for us, man.
They weren't even happy when they scored. I thought that was hilarious. Both of them had the faces like this.
Yeah, because like, damn it, I wanted to block a shot instead. Why can't I hit someone instead? Or have a nice clean out the zone pass. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's what they like to do.
Yeah, that's their goal. So this is only the second time this season that our defense have 2 goals in a game.
I was gonna say it hasn't happened that often.
And the other one was in January against Philly when Morgan Riley scored that OT goal.
Mm-hmm.
Him and OEL got a goal that game.
Nice.
So that long ago, and we don't have that many. We're I think last in defensive scoring this year.
We are
with 7% of our goals coming from defense.
Yeah, that's like 15 goals or something like that.
It's bad. We're hoping that Morgan Riley, I think he will get better as this season goes on, and I think in the playoffs,
just need another road trip,
which is coming up. But I think he will be a monster in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I will bet my Leafs mug on that, and this means a lot to me.
It does.
So I think Morgan Riley will step it up. OEL, I think he is who we thought he was when he's playing. Consistent, decent player. And then Tanev and McCabe, I did not think their chemistry like this would be this fucking good.
It's
or
so
they'd
good.
shut down this well.
They're so good when they're out there. Nobody's scoring on them.
No.
Nobody. They don't even get opportunities, the other teams, when they're out there.
And even if they did, our goalies would stop it.
Yeah. Our goalies are so good now.
Like, I could have seen them being a shutdown pair on, like, one of these nation teams.
Yeah.
Easily,
they could have. They're so good. So good working off each other and knowing, communicating where each other's going. That's the thing about them, too. They know where each other are on the ice, and they trust where the other ones are, and they communicate so well. Like, a couple games ago, I forget what it was, maybe 2-on-1 or something like that, where one of them yelled and was just like, go, and then they took the other guy, and then they, I think it was Tanev, just came over and stopped the guy, and McCabe had the middle pass.
That's awesome.
And it was so seamless, too, because if there was like a second of hesitation, they would have lost their guy, but it was just like immediate, like, go, and it's cool to watch. It makes us feel very comfortable when they're on the ice.
Oh, yeah. And with McCabe logging, what was it, that 25 minutes a night now? Or 22 to 25 minutes a night?
It's
and then him being on a $4 million contract, or $4.5 million a year contract, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And if you do that for even another 2 years of that contract and he does this, I would be so happy.
Yeah.
Because we do have Tanev for another 4 years and McCabe for, is it 5 years with McCabe?
I don't know. I'm pumped.
Yeah. So it's pretty exciting with those two. And then I think what I wanted to talk about was the bottom pair, which I haven't been too excited about. We got a mix of Timmins, Benoit, and Myers right now.
Yeah.
They seem to get penalties at will. Not Myers, but Timmins and Benoit. And I was hoping by at this point of the year that the whistles would go more in the pocket. It's getting closer to playoffs, so the games aren't called as tightly as they are at the beginning. But they seem left and right. They get the hooking calls, they get the holding calls. They just can't keep their sticks to themselves, man. I don't know. I'm not too comfortable with them on the ice. Benoit he played well with McCabe last year. Maybe that was McCabe making him better, or I don't know. But it doesn't seem the same with Timmins. And Timmins has been good, but I don't think he is 5'6" defenseman. I think he's a 7, and he'll step in when you need him.
I agree. And that's where the depth comes in and trade and all that sort of stuff. We had Hakanpää. I don't know what's going on with him, because if you put Hakanpää there with Benoit and Hakanpää's healthy, we're good. And have Timmins as your 7th. Then
Myers is the 8th, which I'm good with too.
Yeah, 100%. Because Myers is still young and learning, and I don't think he's ready for that role yet. Especially when it gets into the playoffs, it becomes that much more important to have experience and puck touches and comfortable. And you can't have Myers and Benoit, who are both inexperienced out there. You need to have some guy like Hakanpää with a little bit of experience settling things down.
Yeah. There was a play last night I didn't like from Benoit against Chicago. It was in the second period, so it was a long line change. So he was coming. They had complete control of the puck in the zone, and the other guys started to change. The forwards started to change on the team. So Holmberg kind of stayed in and was wide open in the neutral zone, waiting for a pass from Benoit, but he didn't have the confidence to make that pass. But he was wide open with like 20 feet around him, nobody around him. And he didn't make that pass. He chipped it off the boards, and it went right back to Chicago's other defensemen. So our defensemen didn't get the change, and he just came back and got an amazing scoring chance, and Waugh had to stop it.
Yeah.
So if that's a better team, that's a better scoring chance, and that's a goal.
Yeah, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Where there's no room for errors like that. So I think we need some more depth on D if Hakanpää is not coming into the lineup, because that's going to get exposed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Especially when it gets so tight.
What they wanted was Hakanpää to play with Riley. To be that would be the second pair unit.
And then OEL drops down. That's
with
such
Benoit.
A steady person to be with your 6th guy.
Yeah. I would love that lineup. And then you could switch out Myers and Benoit, because I don't know if I'd want Timmins and OEL, because They're both maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, as soon as OAL's back down there, I'm happy.
Same.
So yeah. So if that happens, if Hawk and Paul, but we only have 5 games now until the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Like you either shit or get off the pot, right? Like we have to make the decision soon, especially with the third line, because if Yarn Croak was supposed to come back against Carolina, that's what was projected anyways. But now it looks like it might be tomorrow against Boston.
Oh, that's interesting. That throws another
That's
fork
exactly
or wrench in the plans and the lineup.
But you have to know what you have there before the trade deadline.
Absolutely.
So you only have 5 games to check this guy out who hasn't played all season.
Yeah, well, you run him on third line.
Yeah, and
Because
Berube,
that's
I think, liked him as a
realistically where
center. Like Tree Living and Berube want him as a center.
Yarncroak?
Yeah,
Wow.
so they might be running him at center
That's interesting.
with Domi and McMahon on the wings.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Where's
Right?
Robertson go? Drop down in the 4th?
You gone out the door for the
getting rid of him at trade deadline.
the defensive depth I want. Yes, that's what I would be doing. But I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the next couple weeks how things shake up. I definitely think they need to make something, even though Tree Living's always I make my team in the summer at free agency rather than at trade deadlines. But
I know, but when
there's
you
an opportunity there to make your team better for one final push, I don't know. I don't think this team quite has what it takes to go all the way. I think they have what it takes to go maybe to the semis or whatever with their squad now, but I think there's 2 holes, which is the third line and the defenseman.
I agree. And when you have those glaring holes,
they get exposed in the playoffs where you watch those 4 Nation games, everything becomes so tight. The defensive game is so good. The structure's so good against good teams that are playing at that level. There's no room for errors, and if you have those weaknesses, they will be exposed.
Yes. And what I mean is, like, when you have those glaring holes, fix them. You've seen them all year. How long have we been saying get a third liner?
Yeah, nothing's going to happen in the next 5 games that it's like miraculously like, oh my gosh, we just fixed it within our organization. That's not happening.
No. Like Minton looked like it would be nice if Minton could fill that in. I doubt Yarn Croak's going to fill that in. But like I understand why you don't want to, you're hesitant on trading pieces away. But look at these other teams like Colorado who traded their goalie tandem away for a different one, and now they're doing amazing.
Yeah, and that proved great because look at how their ex-goalies are doing. It's like
trash.
That was a great move.
No, his name is Forgiev for a reason because he let in 4 goals. But yeah, so like making these big moves have worked more times than not from these teams that we've seen. Like look at the Tkachuk deal.
Yep.
That worked for Florida so well. And we're like, why are you getting rid of your highest point getting winger and one of your better defensemen?
But again, that was done in the offseason.
I know it is, but like these are huge moves. Or the Rantanen deal with who's the guy you traded? Neches? Neches?
Yeah.
I'll say it right eventually.
it's Neches. Necas.
I know. Is he Finnish as well?
I don't know, but he's working him really well with McKinnon.
Yeah.
And so Rantanen's not doing so hot.
I heard they offered him a really big contract. Like 14 million a year. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is crazy because he's not doing so hot with them.
Yeah, but it's only been 7 games. He was injured a game. He had to play as soon as he flew over that day to play a game. Yes, it's a whirlwind of a game, like a situation. You don't expect him to be the best player ever. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I feel like he's not going to forget how to be awesome at hockey.
Yeah, but I think playing with McKinnon,
there is some kind of effect there.
There's an effect there, and it's like, well, how much was he driving that line, and how much was McKinnon driving it?
Yeah, true. It'd be like, do you think Hyman would be a 50-goal scorer without McDavid?
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like, it looks great when he's playing with McKinnon, but with certain other players, maybe it doesn't work out that well.
Because I also heard that he might be a trade chip at the trade deadline.
Yeah, they might. If they're not 100% that he's going to resign, I heard they are trading him.
Yeah, because they don't want the Gensel thing all over again from last year. Yeah. That's the problem. I get it too.
Yeah, it's twice now.
Mm-hmm. So I want to go on to Austin Matthews. We're going back to the what's his nickname? Big Poppy. We're going back to Poppy. He tied Daryl Sittler with that open netter for the second all-time goal scoring as a Toronto Maple Leaf with 389 goals. And he's done it in way less games than him. And when he gets to Matt Sundin, he would have done it with way less games than him. Yeah, so is he the GOAT of the Toronto Maple Leafs? The greatest Leaf of all time? I think
when it's all said and done, yes. If he stays with us for the whole amount of his career, it's not even close.
Well, even if he finishes this contract he's on now,
yeah,
he's still left.
He's going to beat Sundin, and he's still 100%.
That's crazy.
This guy, we're talking about a guy that has a chance of beating Ovechkin's Wayne Gretzky record.
As it's projected right now, but I feel like with his issues, I don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah, because Ovi's a tank.
Yeah. He's scoring at like a 40-something goal clip right now, and he's 40? 39?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But the thing is, though, with Austin is when he is healthy, he scores in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And it makes it look so easy. Like when he's on and not injured, like last year, he had games where he scored 3 goals, like nothing. He could have had 6 that game.
Yeah, because it'd be posts as well.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like you don't know with this guy, but we're witnessing greatness in the fact that this guy is scoring at a clip higher than the guy that's beating Wayne Gretzky's record.
Yeah.
And we have that guy on our team. We just won the lottery to draft him.
Like, to think we're watching Hall of Fame careers on the Leafs is amazing.
Dude,
in real time.
It's like having your Patrick Kane and Taves thing. We just haven't won any cups yet. But we have these Hall of Famer players on our team, and we get to watch them night in and night out. We're so blessed that way.
No, that's why I hate when everybody shits on them, because these are, again, we watched them at Four Nations, and they were the better players on those teams.
Yeah.
So how, and then when they come back here, you want to shit on them as not playing up to what they are. But it's just, I don't know.
It's the NHL. It's a hard league. Nobody's just going to go out every single night and dominate at a certain level. It's impossible. It's too good of a league.
Unless you're McJesus.
Not that good of a player. Even McJesus goes away the odd game. Because, again, you have a certain matchup, you're not feeling it that night or whatever, or they're really putting a lot of attention on you to shut you down. It's a tough league.
It is.
We're, think of the product that we used to put out on that ice when you went and paid money to go see them or threw on the TV on Saturday, like Hockey Night in Canada, and you'd watch all these guys, like a last place team essentially, way back in the day when Randy Carlyle was the coach and stuff. Like, Phil Kessel was our
Mickelson. The dark days
golf's on
Leafs,
the mind.
Man.
Yeah.
Golf's on the mind.
Golf's on the mind.
But dark days with the Leafs, a decade.
We're fortunate enough that we have a winning team that wins majority of their games. They're first in their division.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Watch that team.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jack. Leafs are now first in the Atlantic by 1 point over those stupid Panthers.
Yeah.
And they have 1 game in hand over them. So, my question to you, do they win this division this year?
I hope so. I think that would be a huge confidence booster for our team coming first in our division. I think we played well enough to deserve it as far as game in, game out. And I think it would really help their confidence going into the playoffs. I don't want President's Cup. I think that's a curse.
President's Trophy.
Yeah, President's Trophy.
Did you
whatever.
see the banner that New York put up this year?
No.
For the President's Trophy, it says regular season champions on it. How bad is that?
That's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. I wouldn't want that. But anyways, yeah. So first in the Atlantic, 1 point above the Panthers. You want them to win. I think them winning
game in hand.
Game in hand, yes. But if they win this division, they have an easier match. We all know the second round is going to be the Panthers. Like 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the Panthers.
Yeah.
So that first round matchup is a more important one to get then with a wildcard team where they are battling right now to get in. So we don't even know who it's going to be, but I think it's still going to be like, I think we can beat the Ottawa Senators. I think we can beat the Columbus Blue Jackets. I would say handily, but more handily than someone like Tampa Bay.
Absolutely. And the thing is too, you want Florida in the second round because Florida, the way they play in the playoffs, they go so hard. So at least whoever gets Florida in the first round, that sucks because they're all energized. They're going to beat you down. And so at least in the second round, after they beat down the first team, they won't have as much in the tank for the second round to beat the shit out of you.
And this is like their third run in a row too. Like hopefully that took some damage on them.
Well, yeah, you look at Tampa saying when they couldn't win the third one Stanley Cup in a row, they said they were so tired after 3 runs. So, because it's just a shorter summer, less rest, all that sort of stuff. So,
and it looks like Matt Tkachuk's down for the season maybe now with a groin injury.
Yeah, and that changes things dramatically. If he's out for the rest of the season, but he'll be back for playoffs. If they make playoffs, there's no way he's skipping out on playoffs. For a groin injury, he'll be back.
So, we haven't done player... What?
My dad, when he pronounces the Tkachuk brothers, he always pronounces the T, and you're not supposed to. And it's the funniest thing.
What does he say?
Tkachuk.
Wow.
You know those Tkachuk brothers. I find it so
for some reason.
always emphasizes the T so hard, like, you know those Tkachuk brothers.
What a guy, man.
I think that's so fun. Because the Four Nations is the best because they're always relevant. So he's always like, you know those two Tkachuk brothers. And so you're saying 2 Tkachuk brothers?
Both of them?
But he's like, no, those 2 Tkachuk brothers.
So we haven't done Player of the Week yet. Let's get on to Player of the Week. Mine's pretty obvious. It's Steve's. Gets called up for his... Was it his first game? I don't think it was his first game this season. Gets called up for these 2 games. Scores his first goal of the season. Gets an assist in the same game. Has a dominant game on the 4th line, which I think is awesome. And I feel like he revitalized that 4th line to be able to... I don't know, they look quicker, they look faster.
They look
goals.
So good.
Yeah.
They look so good.
And I think they both look good even against Chicago. They did their job.
Yeah, and I don't think he's played that many games in the NHL this year, man. Only 3 or 4.
Well, I think it was only 1 other game. He only has 10 NHL games in his whole career.
Yeah, he hasn't played much this year. So for seeing him put in the work in the AHL and score all those goals in the AHL and be able, it seems like he's making a good jump into the NHL, like maybe a Bobby McMahon situation where he's,
I think that's what we're all hoping, man.
We're all fingers crossed, but he's looking excellent out there, winning puck battles, drawing guys to them, not looking out of place at all, and seems very comfortable out there. It's great to see. I'm pumped because I'm a big Steve's guy.
And I think he has
something. I said that in the last Marlies game. I said Steve's looked incredible.
Yeah, I think he has something that a lot of players don't have, which is the scoring touch.
Yeah.
So
shot. One-timer. Unbelievable.
Smooth as butter too, baby.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So who's your player of the game, bro?
I was going to do Steve's, but I had a backup because I knew you were picking Steve's. So I'm going to give it to our top goal scorer.
Matthews?
In the last 2
Shut
games.
Up.
When the guy's hot, you got to give him the iron.
Only one goal went off his stick.
3 goals in 2 games. At this pace, he could be at the top of the goal scoring board by the end of the year.
Yeah.
If he maintains this pace. He's hot right now, folks.
Who's the stud you're talking about, Jack?
I'm giving it to our boy Holmberg, the Swedish rocket, Richard.
Oh yeah, great pick, man.
Because you know what? He's outperforming. Like, there's only 2 games that we have to go off here, and he's outperforming everything that we've expected of him more than any other Leaf that I like. When you expect this and you get this, you have he's doing that more than any other Leaf right now. So I have to give him flowers, whether it goes off his stick or not. He's in those positions and getting goals.
Yeah, he outscored Matthews, Nylander,
everybody,
literally
our
everybody.
whole core 4 combined.
Yeah. Holy.
So I'm gonna give it to him. I'll give it to him because we can give it to Tavares, Matthews, Marner many times, but you don't get too many opportunities to give it to the bottom. We're hardworking guys, so I'll give it to him. And he keeps drawing penalties, man.
Oh yeah, he's one of the top in the league, brother.
So who knows? Anyway, good work, Holmberg. Keep it up. Hopefully you keep scoring at this relentless pace.
Yeah, and so I want to finish with a high note like that. A Holmberg, our boy, Homieberg. So, would you have anything else, buddy, you want to talk about?
No, I think that's good for this week.
All right. Well, if you listened this long, thanks for listening, everyone. And for the next week ahead, play hard and have fun.
Welcome back, everyone, and we're back on YouTube too. We're back.